Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is a green day. We're looking pretty bullish today, and let's start with Bitcoin here. So it's been a little bit, but we're back above 90,000. We're almost at 95,000 for Bitcoin. And what have we been talking about? We've been talking about specifically Bitcoin going back into the retracement levels at some point, and that's exactly what we see is happening right now. We see the price starting to head back into the retracement levels, something we've been talking about for a while, it feels like. So yeah, let's jump into it. So how did we suspect that we were going in the retracement levels? Well, there was a series of bullish things. What are those bullish things? Well, the first bullish thing is that coming back over here, right? You can see going back to the beginning, we are in an uptrend, right? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So we have to assume that's the trend, okay? So that's the first bullish thing, is the trend is on our side, right? Higher highs, higher lows. What is the second bullish thing? The second bullish thing is that we are flagging out, just like how we flagged out over here, right? What's the third bullish thing? Well, the fact that we consolidated in here, right? We broke out and then we came all the way back down and we basically we missed it by a hair, but we basically back tested the top of this support level, right? So this was resistance, resistance, resistance. We break out, and now we're coming down. We have the opportunity to flip it to support, right? Previous resistance equals the new support, right? These are all the things we've been talking about for the last couple weeks. So yeah, basically been thinking that the bottom should be very, very, very close, if not already in, and we should be expecting a retrace. What is another bullish thing that led to this assessment? Well, if you notice, you see A, B, C. You see an expanded flat here. And we can zoom in a little bit and get a little bit more detail on this expanded flat, right? A, B, C, right? So that is a three-wave move, and it's also not crashing to the downside. What is it doing? It's correcting. It's oscillating to the downside. So that's another reason. What's another reason? Well, we also had, if we look at this as A, B, C, if we focus on the C, that's what we've been focusing on. I mean, really, the C wave basically started at the beginning of the year, right? Pretty much. I mean, so all of January, right? February, March, and April. So it's been a while, it's been what, like almost 4 months, pretty much. And we're almost going to be in May soon. So almost, coming up on 5 months for this entire correction. Now, how long did this correction last over here? This one lasted approximately, I'll just go do it from the low, about 144 days. And then if I do this correction from the low, that's about 114 days, right? So it's right around in the same ballpark, pretty much, right? Well, what's another reason we expect the price to go up? When we were down here, right? When we were down here, the reason why is because we had bullish divergence, right? Not only on the 12-hour, the 8-hour, the 4-hour, but also the daily, but not just the daily, but we also had it on the 2-day chart. We had 2-day bullish divergence where the RSI goes up, the price comes down. That's bullish divergence, right? Between what? Between the third and the fifth wave, which leads me into the other idea of why Bitcoin should have went into a retracement, which we see is happening now, which is what? Which is 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third. So we had a 5-wave completed move. We had bullish divergence between the third and the fifth. So we have everything we possibly needed for the price to go back into the retracement level. But we're missing one thing. What is that? we are missing a 5-wave move off the low. So do we have that 5-wave move off the low? Well, let's take a look. Yes, we do. And we talked about it many times. Go back and watch all the videos back in, go to, let's see, started April 12th. Since April 12th, or even before that, we've been talking about a 5-wave move off the low. That's what we want to see to get confirmation that the low could be potentially in, right? And what is that? It's this right here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called a diagonal. It's not a traditional impulse wave, but rather it's a corrective sort of wave like this, right? And it's in the shape of kind of like a rising wedge, if you will. So we quickly identified that, and basically what did we say after we saw that? We wanted to find a 3-wave move, a 3-wave correction, and then a continuation. Now, personally, I thought the 3-wave correction could be a little bit bigger than what it is, and we'll talk about that. But real quick, we also had a double bottom right here. So we came down, we slammed into the low, we came up, and we made a higher high, and then we completely came up, right? We pulled back, and then we continued. So that was a 5-wave move right there, right? So let me just put that on real quick. We're going to take a look at XRP. We're going to take a look at Theta. We're going to take a look at a couple requests, and we'll go from there. So there you go. There's your diag right there. And then, so now what are we looking for? Now we want to see an ABC correction. Now, in the previous video, I stated that this could be ABC. We could be finished. And that this could be like a 1-2-1-2 in here. And we could be revving up to go much higher. Now, I said that wasn't my favorite because it wasn't big enough for me, right? What we talked about is that this could be 3 down. This could be 3 up, and then we can get 1, 2, 3 down, right? 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, or 5 down. So you have a 3-wave move. So that 3-wave move is more proportional with this diagonal, right? But then we busted out the trend-based extension, and I'll double click that, and you could see we reversed. You could see right in here, you want to reverse around the 50 to the 618, so somewhere in here, 618. And that's exactly where it reversed. So in reality, the 3-wave pullback was sufficient enough, was big enough, was proportional enough to correct this impulse. So we didn't need a more complex correction, right? Because we could have easily had 3 down, 3 up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and come all the way back down here. Because a lot of times that's what diagonals do. They have to come way back down here before going up. You can see that obviously didn't happen. What happened was actually quite bullish. We actually had a range in here. We built a range in here just like how we built a range back over in this area right here. Right? And it was still an ABC range. It was like more of a running flat. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were ranging in an ABC, and then we break out into the big wave, which is the 3rd wave. So the big question is, are we in the 3rd wave now? Well, it's very hard to know because it could still be a bigger 3-wave move. For example, first, this could be 3 down, this could be 3 up, and this could be 3 back down. So there you go. It was actually complex. It was just in the form of a running flat. So we did get it right, but it wasn't a traditional ABC. It was in the form of a flat, which is even better, right? Which is even better. I'm happy that it happened this way. I'm pleasantly surprised that we had such a bullish correction for Bitcoin here. I mean, it didn't even come back down to here because we were referencing XRP, right? and we were looking at this price area. But for XRP, if I just pull it up real quick, actually, I'll save that for a little bit later. But essentially, this could have been a good spot for the pullback. But obviously, we didn't do that. So now we look ahead. So now we have 5 waves, right? And now what is going on here? Now, this is all brand new. We have not assessed this wave. So let's take a look at it. So right off the bat, it's extremely impulsive. It's extremely bullish. I'm not sure if this, let me zoom in to this right here, because I'm not sure, is this 3 down, is this 3 up, and is this 3 down? Or is this 3 down and this is a 1 and this is a 2 and this is a 3? You see what I mean? So it's important to know, that way we can get an accurate count for what's happening now. And this right here does not look like a diag or anything, so I'm not going to count it. So the first wave is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it looks like a wave, like some kind of ABC, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 continuation, right? Actually, 1, 2, 3 looks like a 4, and it looks like maybe we can go up and hit one more for 5. But here's what I'm saying. You have 5, 3, and then you can have 5. So what we could see here is just a ABC, right? So if we take this could be A, this could be B, and we could be going up for a wave C, guys. Which means, it could be a little bit concerning. Obviously not because of that, but also because of the retrace levels, right? So if you have, 5 waves down, which we do, and then we go up in 3, you could always, it's probably not finished, but you always can come back down in 3, okay? You can come back down in 3, and that's and a lot of times that's what happens. So now let's look at basic TA, which is like support and resistance area. You can see there's a very strong area right in here. You can see there's a lot of cluster of candles right in this level. So if I was a betting man, I would probably assume that we would come back down and retest those levels, back test those levels, right? Because you have all of this kind of little area in here, and you broke out of that area. So there's always a chance where you can actually, you see this cluster right here, you can actually break above that first before coming back all the way down to retest this area, before then, making another high. So there's a lot of unknowns. I mean, obviously we have to wait a little bit. I think there's a little bit more to go in this wave, but I wouldn't get too excited yet. Now, we did break officially above the downward supply line, right? The downward resistance line. So we broke above that, and we broke above all of this in here. So we have a straight move up, and then you can see there's a lot of resistance underneath this wave, right? And that's exactly kind of where we are. So we should expect, obviously we don't know if it's finished yet. This could come up and get one more high, but basically we want to see some type of correction, maybe even a back test back down here before then continuing higher, right? So there you go. That's Bitcoin. Again, I think we could easily break out and hit that 1618 target, because it really doesn't matter about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's glory days, it's all about the crypto. It's all about the altcoin market, okay? It's all about XRP, actually. So let's take a look at XRP. I don't want to spend too much time with Bitcoin because, frankly, I don't even think people even care. I mean, people care about Bitcoin only because of the altcoins, really. Bitcoin will not make you rich unless you bought it sub 10,000. It's just not going to happen. But that's why we have altcoins. So XRP, we have officially also broken above the downward supply line. This is the first step in the right direction. This is exactly what we talked about. I mean, literally exactly what we talked about. So breaking above this. Did I know for sure it was going to happen? Obviously not. But was that the assessment? Yes. Why? Well, just like with Bitcoin, I'm going to go over all the bullish reasons that led to my reasoning of why we should break to the upside, right? So the first reason is we're flagging out, right? And that flag is equal to the same amount of time as our wave 2 flag. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And you can see how big this wave 4 is relative to the wave 2. That's how you know it's in the same degree, it's in the same neighborhood. So if you look at the time that it took roughly about 100 days. This did too, more or less 100 days, right? So we're right on par. All right. So what's the next thing that was very bullish that we should expect that led to this assessment? Well, just zoom out and look at the price. I've been doing XRP videos since October of 23, and I think XRP is, I've said it many times, it's got to be one of my favorite charts on the planet because of just how insanely bullish it looks. And you could say, well, how is it bullish? It's been going sideways for the last 7 years. And I say, yes, exactly. And you say, well, what do you mean? I say sideways is good. And you say, prove it. And I say, okay, right here. So if you see, this is all a sideways range, right? And it took, what is that? 1, 2, about 3 years, right? So this is a 3-year sideways range. And it led to one of the biggest, most famous bull runs of all time, which was the 2017. The 2017 bull run is the most famous Bitcoin bull run of all time. It is the biggest bull run of all time in terms of length, in terms of size, in terms of growth. It was insane when Bitcoin hit $20,000. It was the most insane thing in the world. But then after Bitcoin hit 20,000, we saw XRP did a showstopper move from like 25 cents all the way up to $3.30. That's a big move from that price level. I mean, we were down here at literally 20 cents. We were at 20 cents, okay? And we went all the way up to 330. I mean, we went up 1,500% in a couple weeks. It was pretty insane. But anyway, XRP, right? This is the entire XRP chart, right? And you can see rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. We should get the breakout, right? So basically this is a carbon copy of this, except this is way, way bigger. Way bigger. So at least twice the size. At least twice the size. Right? So if you look at this, we're right at the verge of price discovery. This is another reason why we're extremely bullish, right? But not only that, this is also in the shape of A, B, C, D, E. It's a triangle, right? It's a fourth wave triangle. But not only that, where's our 5 waves at? We don't have 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's our 5th wave? We don't have it yet. So everything is telling me we're going higher. And that's why I did not understand why everyone got super bearish. Obviously, there was a chance, we talked about it, that we could always come back down and retest like 130, 150, right? We could go back and we could still do that, by the way, because this could be, if the 5th wave ended here, this could be an A, this could be a B, and then we could still get a C later on, right? We don't know that. So, for example, if this is an A, or if this is like a W, this can come up in an X, and then we can come down in a Y, before then going up, right? So it could still theoretically come back down to those levels. But I'm not so convinced that's going to happen. We'll see. We don't know yet because we're not in the retrace levels quite yet. Bitcoin is definitely much further along Bitcoin's almost at its 618, and we're not even at the 382 yet. So Bitcoin is like right there, and XRP is right here. So, but XRP could move very, very quickly, and it could happen like literally within, an hour. It moves very fast. Not to say that it's going to happen in an hour. Again, this is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. Just my opinion, speculating on the market based on the price structure that we see, right? For example, if we look at this price structure down here, you could see, right, we had 3 up, we had 3 down, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a 3, 3, 5. So that's an A, B, C. All right, and then we had another move down, and then we had 3 waves back up, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we had a 3, 3, 5, and then look at this. We also had a 3, 3, 5, right? So we have 3 waves up. We have 3 waves down. What comes next? Either 3 waves up or 5 waves up. And since it's so massive, it looks like we're going to get 5 waves up. So it becomes 3, 3, 5. That's an A, B, C, right? So, all right, now let's zoom in and let's look at. So and I don't want to, I don't want to repeat myself, but for those that don't know, I always have to go zoom completely out on XRP and explain why XRP is so bullish, even though maybe you've heard it multiple times, but I still like to explain it because, again, the bigger the base, the higher in space, right? Think of this like a launch pad. This is a launch pad right here, right? Most investors don't want to buy things that are going sideways because they can't identify what the structure is doing. So they think of it as dead. They think of it as boring. They think of it as it's not going to go anywhere. Think about, I talk to a lot of people, even people on Twitter that have XRP in their profile picture. They were giving up on XRP over here because they couldn't understand, right? It was just, it was psychologically torturing them because they are so convinced. They were so bullish. They were, oh, it's going to break out. It's going to break out. Didn't break out. Oh, it's going to break out. Didn't break out. Oh, it's going to break out. Didn't break out, right? And it just kept going sideways until they gave up. And that's the point, right? The point is, it's basically like a game of chicken versus the bulls and the bears. Who's going to give up first, right? So the bulls, they held and held and held and held and held and held in here, right? They did not give up. But there's a lot of people who did, right? And then they missed out on this whole wave. And we were one of the few ones, I believe, saying that, we should expect a breakout because of all the reasons we just discussed. But now let's look a lot closer. If we look a lot closer, the small time frames, right? Why was I bullish? Why did I believe we were going to go higher? Well, number one, same thing with Bitcoin. You have an expanded flat, all right? Number two, because Bitcoin, right? All the reasons we listed with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is bullish, then obviously XRP as well, right? So we identified that 3-wave move. But then we also, this is the most important wave right here. What's going on here? Most people look at this and they can't read it. The reason why is because it doesn't make sense to them, because it just looks like we're just flagging out. We're oscillating up and down, we're flagging out. That's how people see it. But there's actually, it's actually telling me a story. And the story is we have 3 waves down, okay? And then we have 3 waves up, just like that, right? All the way to the very top, right? And then we have 1, 2, 3 waves down. Well, would you look at that? That's perfect, right? So you take the highest point, you go to the lowest point. Take the highest point, then go to the lowest point. So you have a 3 down, 3 up, 3 down move. So you have a completed 3-wave move, just like that. That's a 3-wave move, just like that. And all of this chop in the middle is just noise. It's just noise, okay? So then what we were looking at? Well, then once we were done with that, then the main focus became this 3-wave move itself. And then once that was finished, then the main focus became what? This move right here. This was our final move. So that's where we're going to start. So where we were, basically we wanted 5 waves, right? We got 3 waves down, we got 3 waves up, and then look at this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, guys. It was perfect. It was a 3, 3, 5, okay? And basically, when we were down here, what did we say? Go back and watch. We basically said, okay, now that we have a completed 3-wave move, or so it seems, right? We have a 5-wave move. And yes, we were, there was always a risk that we could go lower, and I've openly talked about that. But what is the one thing we talked about that we wanted to identify following the 3-wave move? A 5-wave move off the low, which is this right here. So if this is a 3-wave pullback, like this 3-wave pullback, then you're going to want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves off of that 3-wave pullback. And then you're going to want to see an ABC pullback. And then that's when you buy right there. And that's when you blast off, right? So let's take a look at this. So if you look closely, we quickly identified what? The diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody saw this diagonal, right? I haven't heard anybody talk about it. But yeah, I don't even think a lot of people even know what a diagonal is, but basically it's a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So once we had that 5-wave move, go back and listen. I was really insanely bullish. I was like, okay, this is it. Now we're here. We got the 5-wave move. So, but wait a minute, we don't have a 3-wave pullback yet. And then what did we get? We got a 3-wave pullback. And then what did I say? I said, well, wait a minute. This could turn into something bigger. It could turn into a bigger 3-wave pullback. For example, this can go up in 3, and then we can come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, and be a little bit more proportional with this diag. But obviously that didn't happen, right? We had 3 waves down, okay? And then we kind of built a little base, and then we tagged the low, and then we had a 1, 2, and this looks like a 3, and this maybe a 4, and maybe we go up and hit a 5, right? Maybe, right? But here's the thing. It could still be a flat. For example, this could be like 3 down, and this could be 3 waves up. Okay, and now you get 5 down like this, and it could be a running flat, an expanded flat, whatever. But it basically, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, A, B, C, wave 2, and then you go up, right? So obviously that could happen. Or it could be as plain Jane as we see it, which is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, 3-wave pullback, wave 2, you build your base, and now you're revving up for that wave 3. So which one's it going to be? We don't know. Well, we'll have to wait and see, right? We'll have to wait and see. So that's why we have to track the smaller time frames. The first thing I would look for is, do we break below this 217 area? If we break below 217, then it's going to seem like, yeah, this is probably a 3-wave move. If we hold above 217 and we flag out in here and we build a base and we back test all of this and we confirm the new support, then yeah, I would be looking for higher upside. But we just don't know yet. There's not enough information. So that's kind of where we are. Basically, that's all we got right there. So now what? Well, now we need to set our sights for the retrace levels, right? Because I've been saying over and over, I've been thinking, man, this bottom's got to be very, very close, right? And well, we were referencing Theta, XRP, right? Many other coins that look insanely bullish, that have the right look and feel to them. So everything was lining up for this move, and we're finally starting to see it. Now we're still, if we look at this as a box and you cut the box in half, we're still in the lower half of the box, right? So the main mission here for XRP is to get back up into above, basically above 250. That's really where we need to be, above 250, and actually not 250. I would really say between 260 and 280. That would be the big zone to get back above, right? Between 260 and 280, that's where XRP needs to get to. All right. So if we can break above 280, then basically, you have you have 290 at the 702, and then pretty much would almost guarantee us a 1618 extension, right? So if this starts getting back up here like so, right? Like let's say we had 3 waves up. Okay, then you would maybe get 3 waves down. And then you can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. Something like that, right? And then what could happen is this could flag out for a while. And then we go up and hit our final wave for a wave 5. And then maybe it's completely over with by that time. And maybe we hit 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to $13, right? I personally, there's a couple different price targets. Obviously, between $4 and $6 should be the bare minimum. $8, $9 should be the target. $10, $11 should be obviously a little bit more of a bullish target. And then between $15 and $20 is extreme. And then the $25 to $27 target is the log scale 1618 target, which is the most extreme that it could possibly get, in my opinion. The highest it could. So basically, if you were to throw every bullish card, the XRP ETF, the Ripple IPO, the regulations, you threw everything at XRP, no China tariffs, a stock market bullish, Bitcoin all-time high, everything that sets the environment for XRP to go up. If everything was set, right, you had the XRP ETF, the Ripple IPO, the regulations, the tax cuts, the deregulation, the regulation for crypto, China making a deal with the tariff, all that stuff. You have all of that good news all happen within a 2-month period. You can probably see XRP go up to $27. That would be like the max. But obviously, we don't live in that world where everything lines up perfectly like that. I mean, that's a lot to ask, but that's why we kind of, we want to keep it reasonable. Now, there's no reason why we can't hit the 4.236 at $9. So that's exactly where I'm targeting too. Is that $9 area? I mean, guys, look at this. It's flagging out. It's flagging out nice and beautifully. It's oscillating nicely. It's correcting nicely. We just had a major pump. Look how massive this is. We were skyrocketing, just basically going completely crazy, right? And now we're oscillating to the downside. So that's exactly what you want to see for what? Continuation, which is what I think we're going to get, right? All right, so what about other ideas? So other ideas say that this could be like 3 waves up, we could get 3 waves down, and we could still come all the way back down to, what is that? Like $1.80 or so, right? Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't have to come back down there. But if we did, you could see like building a range in here where we would come up something like this and then go up like that, right? That would be a Wyckoff range where you kind of have like that M shape, and this could even be a spring in here, right? But that's another idea, right? To say that the bottom isn't completely in and it's more of a bottoming process, right? Just because we bottomed doesn't mean we bottomed. It could mean that we have to come back to the low, come back up, come back down, come back up, and create a range, create a base, right? Create a base. For example, something like that, or let's see, something like this, right? Some kind of base, right? Some kind of range. You can see how they go sideways before they go up, right? So we could see something similar to that, right? So this could be some kind of range before we break out. Just to keep that in mind, because we're at 222 right now. What if the price had to come all the way back down to $2? I mean, that would be a big drop. It would feel very gut-wrenching, but it would still technically be okay. So I personally do not want to see us go below $2. I want to see us stay above 202. I don't want to see us go back below that personally, but there you go. That's XRP. I think we're good. Somebody asked for, I think, Sologenic. I think this is it. Sologenic. I haven't looked at this in a long time. It looks really good. I mean, I don't like this. Oh, come on. I don't like all of this. But I do like what's happened in the last period of time. One thing I do like about Sologenic is this impulse and this flag here. I think Sologenic is going to break out. So if you want to know my opinion, that's what it is. I think we're going to break out. Because it just looks like it, does it not? I mean, look at this. You got a beautiful three-way pullback here. You got 5 waves in the C wave. And I would imagine, do you have bullish divergence on the daily? Not really. Not really. Let me see here. Let me look at the 2-day chart. No, you don't have bullish divergence between the fourth and the fifth. So you have like a 5, and then you have 3, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want divergence between these two waves. And it doesn't look like you quite have that. So, but it's not a deal breaker, right? I just, it's very, very corrective in here. There's no proof that the low is in, right? We haven't broken above the downward resistance line. We're kind of, we're channeling down. So I'd be a little bit skeptical. I'd be a little bit cautious. But what I would do is I would wait for the price to get back to here, to 31 cents. If we could get back up to here and then get back up to there and then have a 3-way pullback, following that 3-way pull, that's where I would get in, like right here. And then we can get going again, right? So it's kind of like an inverse head and shoulders. So I would wait for the head to develop and the shoulder if I was going to jump in on this. That's Sologenic. Theta Fuel is another one. If you have any requests, you want me to look at something, I've just been very, very busy. I haven't had a good amount of time to go through comments and stuff. I've had some interesting things going on. One thing that happened was my wife's car blew up. She was on her way to work, and the whole engine just went boop. And she goes, "Oh, maybe the alternator went out or something. I don't know, something. This is South Korea. I don't want that." So she took it to the mechanic. Or no, we had to get it towed to the mechanic. And they looked at it, and basically the engine was stuck. So then it's a 2015 Kia Optima, and the mobile mechanic came out and they said, yeah, we can't do anything with it. Your engine is stuck. Basically, that means the engine blew up. That's what that means. And we didn't understand why, because we had all of the maintenance, we did the tranny, we did the frequent oil changes. I think she had like 70, 80,000 miles on it. Nothing too crazy. But the cool thing was Kia offered a 100,000 mile warranty, a powertrain warranty on it, right? So, but we weren't sure if that was going to work with her warranty package or whatever. So we took it to Kia. Kia opened it up, and they said the connecting pins. I didn't get the full report. I'm just going by what I was told, but it was the connecting pins that caused the engine to seize. And I said, well, now what? Are we screwed? Do we have no car? Right? Because I have my car, my wife has her car, but then she would need to use my car to go to work, and it was just kind of a stressful situation. So we were looking for cars, we were looking for used cars, because we needed a car, you know. So that's what's been going on. It's been kind of hectic, and then not only that, but then I've been my son's speech therapy for his speech delay. We've been going through that. And, you know, just kind of a hectic situation. So we just got a call from Kia, and they said that they will replace the engine totally for free. So I was like super ecstatic, happy. Thank God we weren't out like, you know, 5-10 grand out of a car. You know what I mean? I think Kelly Blue Book has the car like at 6,000-7,000 or so. I think it's worth more. I think it's a good, but yeah, now we got a brand new engine in the car, and the car should be ready this week. So cool. Probably would want to exchange it because we've been wanting to get like an SUV for a while or something. So maybe we'll trade it in. I want something dependable. I know Toyota's good. I know Honda's okay. I have a Honda. I love my Honda, but I kind of like that RAV4 SUV. I think that's kind of cool. Something like a family car, you know. But anyways, I digress. That's kind of what's been going on over here. Just kind of hectic, but not too bad. So, all right, Theta Fuel in the house. Somebody asked me to take out. I mean, I should look at Theta Fuel more often, but here's the thing. I look at Theta, all right? And Theta Fuel, basically, they're the same. So anything I say in regards to Theta also involves Theta Fuel. But Theta Fuel, I think it's bullish. And the reason why is, first of all, here's support. We landed right on support, number one. Number two, we have a 3-wave pullback, right? So the way I look at this is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. And then we have 3 waves up. That could be B. And this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for C. And we still need 4 and 5 down for C. And then we go up. It just doesn't look completely proportional with an ABC. This looks very shallow to me. So the B wave could be more complex. For example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. You have 3 waves up. Okay, you get 3 waves down, and then what comes next? You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very fast and aggressive wave. That's what I'm calling on. That's what I think is going to play out. I think we're going to have a very fast, vicious, aggressive, violent bull run. That's what I think. Why? Why do I say that? Because if this is an A, B, C, that means we're going into the C wave. C waves are very, very aggressive. Look at this C wave right here. A, B, C. Look how fast and aggressive and sharp it was, right? If I go over, if you look at this over here, right, and you look at this like A, B, C, right? Well, first, let me flip it upside down so it's the same kind of concept. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and then you have 1, 2, right? It looks like 3, 4, and 5. But look how fast. It was more precise. This was more wavy, and this was more directional, right? That's the C wave. C waves are usually very aggressive. But anyways, that's kind of how I'm thinking of it. I think so those are the two ideas, right? Either this is 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to get 4 and 5, or this is a 3-wave move, and where we should get a big move to the upside, right? One thing I like, again, is we're creating a base down here, right? Kind of like a Wyckoff, if you will. Boom, 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 boom. Some type of Wyckoff situation. But the main reason I like it, Theta Fuel, is because I think this wave could be done. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, you got plenty of waves to the downside. And not only that, but the size, the length of this wave and the length of this wave are basically equal. They're the same degree, right? So the next thing, do we have bullish divergence? No, but we are very oversold on the 2-day, right? We haven't been that oversold on the 2-day since going all the way back in the middle of that 2023, because people say, oh, the bear market's here. We have another 4 years of a bear. No, the bear market never left. We've been in the bear market since 2021. All right? We haven't left the bear market yet. So we can't go into a bull market or a bear market if we've continued to be in a bear market. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Theta Fuel. I'm expecting Theta Fuel to go into a retrace, right? So let's just take a retracement area. There we go. And you can see we are down in the abyss. So I'm expecting the price to get back up to here at some point. Now, there could be a couple different ways it can get there. Again, this could be A, B, and now we're going down for C. And then we get there. No matter what, we're going to get there. Trust me on that. Or this is going to be 3 up, 3 down, and then 5 up. Right? So get back up to here. What makes a lot of sense would be like a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. That's something that like XRP would do, right? So, and what's another reason? Well, we have an impulse here, right? We have an impulse, and then we correct, right? And we're building a base, so we want that to continue. I mean, it's pretty clear, cut, and dry. I mean, I'm just going over the basic stuff. But if I look at the smaller time frames, let's see what's going on here. So we kind of had a diag, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had a 3-way pullback, and then it looks like we came up again. So this is a 3-way move here. So I'm wondering, do we get 3 waves up, which we did? Do we get 3 waves down? And then we continue higher? We'll have to see. The best thing Theta Fuel can do is hold the low and build a base. Just basically oscillate in here, get away from the scene of the crime, and continue higher. So that's pretty much Theta Fuel. Theta itself looks also pretty interesting here. It's basically the same thing, right? Where's my Theta chart at? There it is. So I think this is 3 waves up. This is 3 waves down, right? This is a 1 year 3-wave pullback, actually longer than a year. All right. So we've been going down for a long time. We have 5 waves. We have bullish divergence. So everything, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like we should be bottomed here. All right. And what I like, I think Theta has bottomed, actually. I think it's a very, very good chance we bottomed. You could see the distance between here. You could see how it's getting shorter and shorter. You can see the waves down are getting less dramatic, you know. So, and you can see just how crazy oversold we were on the 2-day chart. And not only that, but we've been oversold for a long time. I mean, look how long we've been down here. You could go back all the way back over here. We were oversold, but look how long it's been down there, right? We've never had this amount of time in the RSI since the history of Theta, guys. This is history right here. Theta has never been this oversold ever, 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 ever on the 2-day chart as long as it's been oversold. So this is even more of a reason to expect, to believe that the low is in. The bottom should be in. So, all right, if we look closely, you can see also bullish divergence here, right? And this, how far does that go up? Does that go up on the daily? Yeah, you can see bullish divergence on the daily chart between the 4th and the 5th. Not only that, but you also kind of have like a bottom and a double bottom here, right? So the price bottomed. It looks like it was going to keep crashing, but it didn't. It stopped, and then it kind of slightly took the low, kind of like a little liquidity grab, and it's kind of holding up nicely. So what do I think Theta should do? I think Theta should just kind of chill out a little bit, go sideways, and then eventually work its way back into the retracement levels. That's what I've been saying that for a while. So that's what I think, and I still believe that. It looks pretty interesting. I mean, look how this is a textbook 3-wave pullback that took 1 year. And if you look at a textbook 3-wave 1-year pullback, that's exactly what happened to XRP before it exploded. Look at near. Near also, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Let's go. I mean, it's perfect. This has been in the making since 2023, really. So the July 2023, right? And now July 2024, that's when we started going down. And now here we are coming up soon to be July 2025, right? So I'm expecting this to bottom out and for it to go higher. Because you have a 5-wave move, right? You got a pullback. So this looks like it needs to be either, let's see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, and it's 3, 3, 5. And that this could be maybe a flat, like an A, B, C later on, but I think it's too big for that. So, and we don't even need to go that far down, but basically, what am I expecting? I'm expecting for price to get back up to here, right? Now, if this comes down and makes another low, I'm still expecting price to get back up here. So there's no guarantee that the low is in, but I think we're very close. ADA looks really good. ADA, look at ADA. It is building a base. Oh, I like the ADA chart on the 10-day chart. You have this impulse, and you have a 3-wave pullback, and then after the 3-wave pullback, you develop this base, which looks pretty interesting. But when you zoom in, it's actually not that. What we see here is we see 3 waves down, we see 3 waves up, and then we see 3 waves back down. So that's 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. So that's a 3-wave move. So we have an impulse and a 3-wave pullback. So now what do we need? We need a continuation. So is that what this is? Is this what it's creating? Is it creating a continuation? It sure looks like it. We'll see. Today's Wednesday, so we still have Thursday, Friday. I mean, we still have a couple days, maybe 3 days left of some bullish price action. TIA kind of looks like a little double bottom here. Or even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like an A, B, C. And it could be done. So, all right, let me go faster now. Litecoin, I think Litecoin is done. You got a 5-wave move in Litecoin here. XLM, one of my favorite looking bull flags. Looks really nice looking to me. Trying to just get it real tight. Yeah, I mean it looks really awesome to me. You have this wave 1, this wave 2, flagging out for a wave. You have wave 3 flagging out for a wave 4. Let's go get a wave 5. Yeah, so you kind of have like 3 waves up here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get 3 down and we kind of go sideways a little bit and then kind of break out. I mean, that's how I would envision it. And then you would have like a little bit of a base there. So it looks pretty good. Even dog, something super bearish like dog could look good. Like you have an impulse and an ABC pullback. You have 5 waves here. I think you have divergence, develop a base, then get the retrace. So not just dog, but all the other coins like HBAR. I mean, HBAR is also flagging out. You got a nice 3-wave move here, right? So you have an impulse, you're flagging out. So you would expect a move higher, right? See, this was not kind of flagging out. It kind of looked like it was flagging out, but this is definitely more of a flag look. Filecoin, I'm expecting a retrace. Matic. I really liked Matic, and I wanted to get into Matic, but I just didn't. I missed my opportunity, but I'm still looking for one. You have 3 down, you have 3 up, and then you have 3 back down. So that's a WXY. You have a big impulse and a 3-wave pullback, and it looks like it's about done. And this is years in the making. This is 4 years or 5 years in the making, basically. Ethereum. So I think Ethereum could be bottomed. You know, we've been talking about Ethereum. You got this, again, another 3-wave major pullback. You're back here at support. It just seems to me like this would be the spot where it should stop. And we should consolidate. We should start climbing back a little bit higher. So we'll see. Link looks good. Same thing with Algo, right? Is this like an ABC and then we're going to crash and burn? Or is this a 1-2-1-2 and we're going to go massively to the upside? Well, we'll see. But the first order of business is getting back to the retrace levels. Now, notice there's a theme with everything I've been saying. All of the coins I've been thinking that we should have a retrace. So here's the thing. Once we get that retrace, if we get it, because maybe we won't, right? But that's what I believe. But let's say we do get it. And then once we get there, then it becomes very nerve-wracking because then we could crash or we can go. Retracement levels are where bull runs happen, and they are where bear markets start. They're where bull markets start, but they're also where bear markets start, right? Even though we've been in a bear market. Anyways, Bitcoin dominance. It's still pumping, guys. It's still, and this to me looks finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this was the final wave. So I think we're very close. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that's pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's pretty good. It's very difficult to count, but it's there. We looked at Bitcoin. It looked pretty good. Aave kind of developed those base. You break out, you back test, and now you kind of come back up to the retrace levels. So ICP, that was the other one. All right, so ICP. I really like ICP. You have, let me see real quick. You have, I was seeing where the RSI was relative. Okay, I thought we had hidden bull, kind of. Never mind. Yeah, ICP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. You got an impulse and a 3-wave pullback. Looking for this to flag, kind of chill out a little bit, and then start to make its way back up to the retrace levels. So basically everything's the same. Everything's the same. Look at flow. Same thing with flow. You got a 3-wave pullback, right? What else? We just crossed an hour mark. If you can hit that like button, that's really cool. Zcash, not so much. FET. Oh yeah, FET looks. Look at FET. Like 3-wave pullback, right? 3-wave pullback. So, looks interesting. But anyways, that should do it for this video. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you can hit the like, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.